Yes, our slogan must be learn, baby, learn so that we can earn, baby, earn. And with a powerful commitment, I believe that we can transform dark yesterdays of injustice to bright tomorrows of justice and humanity. Let us keep going toward the goal of selfhood, toward the realization of the dream of brotherhood.
Hello, my name is Gerald Lundy, Board Chair of the Bethel Enrichment Center, and we are proud to be the sponsor of the first ever Dr. Martin Luther King Oratorical Speech Contest. We as a community must ensure our young people understand who Dr. King was, where he stands in the history of all Americans, and how his legacy lives on and remains relevant today. I am extremely proud to have collaborated on this project with the Golden Years Ministry of Bethel Baptist Church in Kannapolis, the Concord Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Gamma Epsilon Zeta Chapter in Concord, and the men of Phi Beta Sigma Incorporated. I also want to give a special shout out to Mr. Lance Hamright and Miss Ashley Hazel. Thank you for your devotion to this cause. Well, it's time to get on with the show. Let me bring on my two hosts, Miss Geraldine Hammond and Dr. Kim Luter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Oratorical Contest segment of the MLK celebration. My name is Geraldine Hammond, and I'm delighted to be here with my co-host.
And I'm Kim Sexton Luter, and I am delighted to be here as well.
We are so excited about this. This brings back so many memories to me. Dr. Luter, let me tell you some history about this. I've been a member here at Bethel Baptist Church for over 30 years. And when I first came here, there was a Deacon Thomas Allison, who since have gone on to glory. But he was the Sunday school superintendent and the assistant Sunday school superintendent of the Guiding Missionary Baptist Association. So we always had an annual oratorical contest. He would encourage the kids. He would coach the kids. He would always tell them, this is important. You need to know how to speak in front of people because this will help you when you get in high school. This will help you in college and especially your career.
Well, I am not surprised to hear that because I know that the children that come up out of this area seem like they have been prepared for such a task in all of the many things that I have seen them do.
Oh, yes, they were prepared. As a matter of fact, every year we will either come in first place or tie first place, sometimes have 2 or 3 contestants who would place. And we would be so excited about that. And as a result, we have some of those same students who have become doctors, who have become lawyers. One is a lawyer by day and a comedian by night who is well sought after. One who was on the UNC system board of governors. And then we have one who's assistant city manager. We have ministers and pastors, and the list goes on.
Well, I am not surprised, and these young people today have some big shoes to fill because they are coming and they are going to give their oratory presentations, and I am just confident that they're going to knock it out the box just like the youth did in the past.
Oh, I know they will because there's a legacy here, and they're going to keep that legacy going.
And speaking of legacy, the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King is one that we should celebrate all year long. Yes, this weekend is our MLK special weekend for Concord Cabarrus, but understanding that the work that Dr. Martin Luther King has done is so timely and so necessary even now, 53 years later after his death. So I'm excited that these young people are going to speak to us today using quotes and themes that are a part of this Martin Luther King weekend here in Cabarrus County.
Yes, and Kim, you know, it breaks my heart when I think about all the things that Dr. King went through. I can remember as a young lady sitting on my couch looking at the hoses and the dogs and the brutal beatings and the horrific things that they went through. But what even saddens me more is the fact that all these 53 years later, we're still facing some of the same issues. There is still racial profiling. There is still systemic racism. There is still voter suppression. There's still inequality, and that saddens me.
Absolutely. And our students today, our young people out there, as they're preparing these speeches, they should be really able to just relate to so many of the things that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about, because we are still dealing with those very issues today. And so when they speak with us today, we're going to be looking to make sure that the content from their speeches has some historical relevance in it. We're going to be looking to make sure that it's grammatically correct, that it's factual, and that they are fluent as they are presenting their ideas. We'll also be judging them on their inspiration. We want them to inspire us with their speech, and we want them to help us visualize the words that they are speaking and the legacy and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King. As well, we're going to be looking for some anticipation. We want to see, do they have us sitting here hanging on their every word and just waiting for them to come with their next line? And then motivation. Overall, everything else, we're just hoping that when they finish, people are motivated to get out there and do something. So that's the criteria that we will be judging them on today.
Dr. Luther, I'm motivated already just hearing you talk about it, and I can't wait to hear these young people.
I can't wait either. And so I think it's time to bring those young people on, don't you think?
I think it is too.
Imagine your 42-year-old mother coming home from a long day of work. She just wants to sit down and rest her feet. But the bus driver demands her to get up, and when she doesn't, she is arrested. This is what happened to Rosa Parks on December 1st, 1955 in Montgomery. Martin Luther King stood up and fought with Rosa Parks against segregation on buses. This was called the Montgomery bus boycott, which lasted 13 months. Like Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what is right. I can't stop thinking about my 15-year-old brother running down the street and getting shot by a white man. Like Ahmaud Arbery, 25 years old, gunned down by a white man on February 23rd, 2020. We are still fighting for justice for him. Like Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what is right. Do you think it's safe for my brother to go playing outside with toy guns with a group of African Americans? Absolutely not. We learned that from the Tamar Rice case. He was only 12 years old, outside with a toy gun, and was shot by a white police officer. Again, we are still fighting for justice for him. The time is always right to do what is right. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. How many times did we hear George Floyd say this? It breaks my heart. Why didn't it break those cops' heart that was on his neck and his back? The time is always right to do what is right. Like, are you serious? I can't be safe sleeping in my own bed? Breonna Taylor was 26 years old when she was shot in her apartment on March 13th, 2020. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "I have decided to love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." This makes me think of Breonna Taylor's mom, Tamika Palmer. She has decided to fight to make a change in police laws instead of filling her heart with hate and making her life miserable. The time is always right to do what is right. Oh, I'm looking at my phone. There goes another video of a white cop abusing an African American. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of seeing these videos. It's good people are recording, but it's time to make a change and stand up for what's right and change what's not. We can't be silent anymore. There comes a time when silence is betrayal, said by Martin Luther King on April 4th. The time is always right to do what is right. On August 28th, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King said his famous "I Have a Dream" speech in D.C. It's time for all of us to make new dreams and make them come true. Like I know because of Obama and Kamala Harris that I now can become a president or vice president one day too. Don't ever forget, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what is right.
Black is a beautiful culture. So many of us have forgotten that, and countless others have always tried to deny our beauty. So now is the time for us to unite. more now than ever because of the chaotic events unfolding all around us, and show the world just how beautiful and necessary our Black culture is. Now is the time for us to unite, because I believe that struggle is necessary for progress. With all the loss and hardships that we have endured, this is the perfect moment to show our strength and resilience together. White has always been perceived as pure, and Black has always been associated with evil. We fail to realize that Black symbolizes power, elegance, sophistication, and we need to act as such. Being Black has always been frowned upon in this land for so long that a lot of us have actually begun to believe the lies that others have impressed upon us. This is where togetherness and pride play a crucial role. Many sticks in a bundle are unbreakable, but one individual stick can be easily broken. That essentially means that a group of cooperating people can achieve something that one individual cannot. I also believe it is vital to have pride while also possessing humility. We need to display our Black pride while remaining humble at the same time. We do this by doing our part to ensure our own happiness and success, while not forgetting where we've come from and always being willing to assist others in need. In recent news, a chaotic and humiliating event occurred and appalled the world. The U.S. Capitol was stormed by Donald Trump supporters. I was in shock watching this happen. I had never seen anything like this before. I kept wondering how protesters were able to infiltrate this building. Shouldn't it be one of the most secure places in the world? I was also thinking if Black people tried that, the police would have taken more aggressive action. No one would have made it inside alive. It was so mind-boggling to me that forceful action was not taken to apprehend these rioters until the National Guard made it to the scene. This is not just an example of disorder and chaos, but it is also an example of white privilege. It's nothing new to see whites receive less severe punishments and consequences than Blacks on the basis of the color of their skin. A Black male or female is often seen as a threat just because of the color of their skin, regardless of their actions. When Blacks protested through the streets in response to the killing of George Floyd, the police and Donald Trump vowed to dominate the demonstrators' wall, which Trump called extremists. Yet when whites stormed the Capitol building, the police took little to no action in preventing these rioters from entering the building, even though their riots were more extreme than our protests were. Despite the negative influence that we are surrounded by, it is always the right time to do the right thing. This is a reminder that although we have made forward steps as far as equal rights in regards to certain things, we must not forget we are still an oppressed people who still haven't quite determined our own worth. We need to reunite with power, elegance, and resilience and sophistication that we've come from, and never let Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream die or his legacy be forgotten.
January 18th, we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's life and legacy. His I Have a Dream speech has inspired me and so many others. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "Never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well-being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishments are small compared to the ones we inflict on our souls when we look the other way." In today's society, we tend to look the other way because we're scared of what others may think. Dr. Martin Luther King didn't care what others thought. He marched, he led, and he let his voice be resonated with every speech he spoke. He understood the impact his words could make in this country. Another quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that relates to this is, "I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in this reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumph." In 2020, we have seen what happens when evil triumph takes over, and it's scary and overwhelming. This past summer, the killing of George Floyd sparked national outrage, which led to hundreds of Black Lives Matter protests and marches. With the Black Lives Matter protests and marches, those people were met with police brutality and racism. If Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was still alive today, he would be so proud of all those fearless people who went out there despite getting maced, tear gassed, shot, or imprisoned. The quote that history repeats itself couldn't be more true, because what we're going through today is what he already lived, and the fact that racism and white supremacy is still going on today breaks my heart. It's easy to turn on your TV and be angry and frustrated, but I can't help think to myself, what can I do to make a change? What impact can I make that's large enough to be heard? If you have enough passion in what you're saying, your words will be heard, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok.
It's been 53 years since Dr. Martin Luther King has passed away, but we still remember his words, his actions, and his compassion. And I strive to be as courageous as he was. As I end this speech, I want to leave one more quote of his with everyone. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. So what will you do to change the world? What words will you speak that will be louder than your actions? It's time to speak up and be heard. Thank you.
Dr. Martin Luther King. 3 most famous words are I have a dream. Have you ever taken a moment to decipher what that means? He fought for the rights of black babies, teens, and adults, fighting for our freedom by any means, fighting for the rights of our people when equality was unseen. He showed us that you can make change if you just believe. Dr. King had a vision when everyone else was too naive to see what could be. They thought it was just fantasy. He turned his dream into our reality. Dr. King had a different type of mentality. He believed that you should not be judged by your race, gender, or nationality. Dr. King said, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He wanted us to be in control of our own stories and be the author and the narrator to our own dreams and stories. Dr. King taught us that the time is always right to do what is right and to keep on pushing even when the finish line isn't in sight. And when there is darkness, to always let our light shine bright.
Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Somebody told me a lie." They couched it in language. They made every black ugly and evil. Look in your dictionaries and see these synonyms for the word black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's pure, high, and clean. Well, I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language right. So right that everyone here will cry out, yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm black and I'm beautiful. This quote taken from one of his many speeches means a lot to me. The reason it means a lot to me is because as Martin Luther King Jr. is writing, he is trying to convey that words have great power. He points out the differences in the definition of the colors white and black, and then explains how one automatically comes with privilege when labeled such. It was basically learned when you're white, you're right, and when you're black, you are not. They made African Americans seem like ugly people with so much hatred in our heart, but was and is far from the truth. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted people to feel safe and comfortable in their own skin, and to let people know that it is okay to be proud of who you are regardless of your skin color. He not only wanted us to feel proud for ourselves, but proud enough to let others know how great we are. He was not afraid to stand up for what is right and lead by example. I feel like our country is going through a modern example of what he and so many others had to go through in the past. This is why this quote resonates so much for me, because in times like these, we as African Americans should be reminded that we are beautiful people with so much to offer, and as much as others disagree and want to take that way, they cannot. In conclusion, the time is always right to do what is right.
Black is beautiful. It has always been beautiful and will continue to stay beautiful until the end of time. Dr. King spent his life working on making that statement a reality for African Americans. The word beautiful is an adjective, meaning pleasing the senses or mind aesthetically. It is a fact that God created everyone in this universe beautiful, from Beyonce to you and me. We are all created in God's image, and we all have something inside of us that is special. There are many things on this earth that are beautiful. The incredible things on this planet have to go through multiple obstacles or pressure to become the magnificent things we see every day. A diamond, for example, is put through 1 billion to 3.3 billion years of pressure. Without this long process, the jewel that everyone loves wouldn't be as breathtaking or valuable. Black people are most definitely a prime example of being a diamond in the rough. We have been through horrible pressure throughout the course of time, beginning with slavery to Jim Crow laws, segregation, police brutality, and racial injustice that still occurs today. While this pressure is horrible and unjust, it has played a role in where Black America stands today. This pressure has shown us how powerful as a community we all are. When you go through something horrible, you want to try your best to change the way things are. Black people no longer stand on the sidelines watching other people make history. We make the history. We no longer have to look on TV and find no one who resembles us. We now have a network dedicated to our excellence. Following the words of Dr. King, I ask that you say this today and every day. Yes, I am Black. I am proud of it. I'm Black and I'm beautiful. If you never believed the statement to be true, the time is now. Black is beautiful. Every shade, size, hair type, eye color, nose size is beautiful. The time is always right to do right to yourself and recognize the diamond that we carry everywhere we go. The time is now to recognize and shout that Black is beautiful. It has always been beautiful and will continue to be until the end of time.
My name is Ari Ford, and today I decided to write a poem about my Blackness because of today's society. The time is right to do what's right, by MLK himself. Black is beautiful, by Ari Ford. Black is beautiful. Black is unique, like me. My Black is held down 10 toes deep. Black is misjudged by society. Black is my #1 priority. Black is bold. Black is strong. Black is the reason why I push on. From the old Blacks to the new Black, always keep my Black in my view. Black is powerful, day and night. Black should never be feared at the sight. Black is you. Black is me. Our Black should remain free. Black, beyond overdue. Loyal, aspiring, cultural, and knowledgeable. Black is beautiful.
What is the real meaning of being Black? Is it being oppressed for centuries? Being considered loud, ghetto, ratchet? Or is being Black loving the shade that you are? Being successful in anything that you do? Or overcoming obstacles? The word Black has always been used in a negative way throughout history. As spoken by Martin Luther King Jr., look in your dictionaries and see the synonyms of the word Black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. However, in this day and age, the Black community has been spreading the affirmation, Black is beautiful, to uplift and encourage our culture to embrace oneself. With this positive phrase in the Black community, it gives the word Black a new meaning and makes people feel proud when calling themselves Black. Now is the time to show your Black is beautiful, because the Black community must stand together in a positive light now more than ever. We must stand together and scream, I'm Black and I'm proud, because we all should embrace positivity upon one another. So whenever you feel down and out and insecure about yourself, just remember this excerpt by Renette Nia Ebo. It states, I made you the color of coal, from which beautiful diamonds are formed. I made you the color of oil, the black gold that keeps people warm. I made you from the rich, dark earth that can grow the food you need. Your color is the same as the panthers, known for beauty and speed. Your color is the same as the black stallion, a majestic animal is he. I didn't make you in the image of darkness. I made you in the likeness of me.
So my task was to tell you why Black is beautiful and why Black people should acknowledge it now more than ever. However, I'm going to do something just a little different. I'm going to tell you what Black is not. So I followed MLK's directions and I looked up the definition for the word Black. Now in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, there are multiple definitions for this word. However, the two that stuck out to me the most we're dirty or soiled, and having dark skin, hair, and eyes. But Black is so much more than that. Black is not dirty or soiled. Black is not pain and suffering. Black is not the hood and poverty. Black is not violence. Black is beauty. Black is joy. Black is perseverance. Black is strength. Black is peace. And Black is love. And to me, it is a blessing and a gift from God that I can say that I'm Black. It is important now more than ever that people acknowledge just how beautiful Black is, because people are constantly trying to make us look like savages. People are constantly trying to make us look dirty and nasty and violent. And if we don't know our true beauty, then we will start to act just like that and act how they want everyone to see us. Take a moment and picture yourself at home, in your couch, just watching MLK and listening to him. Listen to him talking about just how beautiful Black is. What would you do? Would you be proud of the color of your skin and be proud to say that you were Black? Or would you cower and say that you were ugly or that you weren't good enough because of the color of your skin? I mean, just look at you. Look at your hands and look how the light radiates off of your skin. That is true beauty. Now, I don't know about you, but after all of this, I'm going to do what Dr. King wanted and shout, yes, I'm Black. I'm proud of it. I'm Black and I'm beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Lulu. These kids literally blew my mind. They were awesome.
Yes,
I
they
am
were.
so motivated right now by the way they spoke, by their motivation, by their clarity, by the content. Oh my goodness.
Yes, absolutely. We definitely had a great time and just enjoyed some wonderful, wonderful work from these young people. And we just want to thank the MLK Planning Committee for making this entire weekend possible, for being able to include this oratorical contest as part of it. And we just want to thank all the partners who have helped to make today a success. There are many of you who gave donations, who did fundraisers, you raised money for scholarships, just a ton of different folks in the community who worked to make today a success. And we hope that you all will continue to rock with us for the rest of the weekend, because on tomorrow we have our annual wreath laying celebration and we have our art contest, and we are going to bring this weekend to a close on that third Monday in January, where we do what we do and celebrate the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Amen, amen. And last but not least, we would like to thank all of you who took time out of your busy schedules to watch this virtual MLK celebration. To the parents, I know it was hard sometimes getting your children to practice, but kudos to you for a job well done. And we know there are many things you could have done today, but instead you chose to watch this, and we are forever grateful. God bless.
Mother didn't always have her grammar right, but she uttered words of great symbolic profundity. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had cracks in it. Boards torn up places, with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time, I's been a-climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you stop now. Don't you sit out on the steps, cause you find it's kinda hard, but I'm still going, boy. I still climb. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair. We must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. but by all means, keep moving.